and you can follow us there. We have lots of videos on there, lots of free content, including this class, right? It's going to be on there. If you guys want to get a recording of what we're doing right now, YouTube is the spot. So make sure you go on there, make sure you subscribe. Again, just search for our company, Lumi Wealth. I'll also send a link to, you can follow us there. There we go. So we have that live. I'll also send a link to our, to the chat here for you guys to join. If you guys join again, you are going to get a ton of free stuff, including some videos that we put out on blockchain recently. You're going to get a lot of stuff on what we're doing right now on options. We're going to be releasing a lot of things on that as well. And also, again, the recording of this. So make sure you go, the typical thing, I just posted the link into our chat, so you can check it out in the chat. Just click on that and you can go there, like, subscribe, hit that bell button to get all the updates as well, all right? And without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Neil, who teaches this course on options using algorithms to trade options, which is very, very cool stuff. He has a lot of experience in this. He's taught this course several times now and built out quite a few different algorithms on this as well. So without further ado, Neil, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, hey everybody, thanks Robert. It's nice to see everybody here. My name is Neil Murphy, and I specialize in doing algorithmic programming across a wide spectrum. I'd like to say today that really helpful. Looks like we have kind of a bit of a small group here today. It would be really cool if you are able to put some chat in, or if you're able to ask a question, just let us know. We'll be watching and monitoring those things so that we can answer as we go along. But I guess what I'll do is we'll start the presentation now, and I'll share my screen. So here's the course that we have, is the Getting Started with Options Trading Using Algorithms. This is a course that we have that helps people build options, obviously trading programs that help make money. We've done a couple courses now already, and it's been well received by our students. I've really enjoyed teaching them. I've taught both of the courses myself. So I'm just going to jump forward here to the agenda, and we can have a look and see what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, I'd like to find out who's on the call. Some of you may become potential students. We'd like to get to know you. And we'll also tell you a little bit about ourselves. We'll give you an introduction. And then we'll talk about some algorithmic options trading and how it works within Lumibot, which is the bot that we use to do options trading. We're going to then run a demo for you. The demo is going to be, it's something that was recorded a while ago. Unfortunately, we always have these webinars at night or on the weekends. And because of that, we're not able to do live demos. Obviously aren't trading, they're not open. So I recorded some demos in the daytime. We'll show them to you so you can see what bots look like when they're trading live. We'll talk about the course. I think after the demo, I'm going to talk about, it's not on the agenda here, but I'm going to talk about a couple of my clients that I have, one ex-student and one client who trades regularly, and sort of let you get a taste for what their experience is. It's pretty cool. And then we'll talk about the course, and we'll field any last questions before we sign off. Does anybody have any questions now? All right. So what we'd like to find out is who's on the call. So if you could, there's a chat button on your Zoom. I'm sure most of you know where it is. If you just tell us a little bit about yourselves. What's your occupation? Do you know how to program? Do you what languages do you program in? Do you have any experience? Any investment experience? What kind of experience do you have? Excuse me, sorry. What kind of experience do you have? And yeah, tell us a bit about, maybe a little bit about what you're hoping to get out of the course. What brought you to us, and what do you hope to achieve? And we'll see if we can tell you how we might be able to do that. Anyway, go to your chat, maybe type in a few lines for us. While you're doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Rob will tell you a little bit about himself as well. I'll talk about my programming experience first. About 4 years ago, I started programming with the sole intention of becoming expert in trading and algorithms, which I have become. I've worked with a number of open source libraries and become expert in at least 2 of them. You can see me at runbacktest.com. That's where I have all the information about sort of what I do. In addition to working on Lumiwealth, I have clients that I create algorithms for, both in futures, cryptocurrencies, and options, and of course stocks. Traditional stocks. My clients go anywhere from sort of regular folks like yourselves, maybe, all the way up to money managers and across the globe, really. But my work here on Lumibot, I started about 8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago, and it's been a great experience. When I first came here, I become sort of one of the primary developers on Lumibot, and we've been able to add, build up an open source trading algorithm that you can just use without paying anything, that can trade in, do algorithmic trading in stocks. It can do it in futures. It can do it in Forex. We can do it in options, and we can back test in all of those as well, which is super cool. Like you can go on and check, if you have an idea about something, you can go on and back test it and see if it makes sense for you. So that's my primary work that I do now, as well as teaching the courses with Rob at Lumiwealth. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of great people come through the program. A lot of people out there making money, which is cool, and they go on their own journey as well. And it's fun to watch them kind of evolve their own philosophies and to help them get to where they want to be. So I'm really excited to have you guys here tonight. And maybe we can hear a little bit about some of the philosophies that you bring to the table. So. Rob, just before I go over to you, I guess maybe we can have a look at a few people and see who's on the line. So we have Jason. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Jason's an IT professional. He says yes to, do you know how to program? He's an IT professional, 5+ years. So Jason's bringing some good experience on the IT side of things, which is excellent. He can just focus really more so on perhaps on the trading aspects of Lumibot. Thanks for coming out, Jason. Armando Rodriguez, he's a software engineer. He's got Java, C++. He's not a developer. And I have experience with futures and algos trading. So it sounds like, Armando, you're pretty well suited to kind of jumping into this program with both feet. And I think you'll be able to kind of hit the road running pretty good. Like, it looks like you've got a perfect background for it. So Ashley Orlando. Ashley Orlando is a realtor. She has some basic stock use and knowledge, and she's looking to expand into options. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for coming out. We'll definitely be able to help you with that. We have a broad range of people who come into the program. We can help you, say, for example, some of the people like Armando, maybe Jason might have a bit more coding experience, but we can help you get up to speed really quickly so that you'll be making money in no time as well. We can start off more simply and we'll get going from there. But we do that all in the course. So thanks for coming out, Ashley. It's nice to see you here. And Maura Satirial, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Mechanical engineer by training, myself too. That's my background. She trained herself on Python and machine learning. No investment experience. So that's a really cool background to bring into here too. In fact, Robert and Lumiwealth has a machine learning course that they teach as well, how to use machine learning in order to assist you in your algorithmic trading. And it's a super popular course. And people are able to get out there and use some of the tools in Python. Of course, Python has the best library for machine learning. So it's a natural fit to work with what you're doing with Lumibot and to get signals out of it and to read massive amounts of data, I'm sure, right, Robert? And no investment experience, don't worry, we'll teach you that part of it, and we'll help you to understand how everything works. Thanks for coming out, Maura. And Giovanni Jimenez. I am Giovanni, calling from Los Angeles. He's an aerospace engineer, occasional day trader. Welcome. It's nice to see you out here. Engineering is a great background for this sort of thing. You sort of already have kind of that logical perspective on how to organize things. And I think if you're bringing an engineering background to the course, you're going to do really great. Cool. And we'll learn a bit more about you guys as we go along through the session today. But Robert, did you want to talk a little bit about yourself as well?
Sure, I'll give a quick little spiel. So my name is Robert. My occupation, I'm the CEO of Lumiwealth. So it's my job to make sure that you guys are happy, right? That's really all I care about, is making sure that we have people learning some great things, and we have instructors are doing some great things to help our customers out. Those are really my top concerns. Do I know how to program? Yes, I've been coding for almost 25 years. I don't want to date myself, but started, like back when I was like 12 years old or something like that. So it's been a long time. I think I can code, but I can speak English. And I hope I speak English fairly well, Um, and then how much investment experience do you have? I started back in 2007, right before the market crash. So not ideal timing in terms of investing, but a really good way to learn about, risk management, that sort of thing. So it actually really colored my investing strategies going forward. And it's really actually, to be quite honest with you, going through something like 2008 has really helped me make quite a bit of money over the past couple of years, because you just learn how to manage your risk well. And I feel like that's something that people don't pay enough attention to. If you manage your risk very well, you tend to actually make a lot more money in the long run because of that. And in general, I guess my background, coding for a very long time, worked in fintech for quite a while. I worked on Wall Street. Most recently before Lumi Wealth, before starting our own company here, I was working at Voyager, employee number 4. Voyager is basically an app that is kind of a competitor to Coinbase, right? So, crypto brokerage, you can buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that kind of stuff. I think it's better for several different reasons, but maybe I'm biased, right? It's a very early stage employee there. When I joined, it was basically no one in the office. These days, it's trading for $1.5 billion, I think, on the stock exchange, which is pretty cool. Made me a bunch of money, feeling good about it. Let's do that with Lumi Wealth as well. Let's turn this into something really big and important. And the way that we do that is making you guys happy. That's what I'm all about. Let's make happy customers. Let's make you guys money, and let's change the world in a very meaningful kind of way. That's what I'm all about. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Rob. One of the things I was going to mention here, I didn't really touch on my investment experience. I kind of drifted off after the coding part, but before I started coding 4 years ago, I have a long history working in IT and in investments, sort of in between in project management and building code with large banks. But I've been in and out of investments for the better part of over 20 years. I was a stockbroker. I've worked as an investment advisor. I've worked in firms that specialize in ethical investing. I've worked in large banks, advising business owners on investments. I've worked with clients who are traders for both options, futures, and stocks. So I bring a wealth of investment experience to the table. That's just kind of ingrained in me now, so that when I'm looking at things, when we're doing algorithmic trading, I can just go, that investment doesn't work that way. You want to have a look at this or look at that, and be a little bit careful over here. So I that wealth of experience, coupled with my ability to code and to teach that, will really help you guys out a lot when you come into the course with me. And I get pretty passionate about trying to make sure that that everyone's getting the most that they can out of the course. Let me just check my chats. Cool. I think that's it. So did you already kind of do this, Rob?
Yeah, I think we already covered this. We covered, both of ourselves. Was Lumi Wealth? We've basically covered it, but just to reiterate, Lumi Wealth, we're all about using software to improve investment returns. Right, I very strongly believe that software has a really big place in investing, especially with the advent of like machine learning, especially since it's faster, it's better, it's cheaper. Just think about ETFs themselves. Why are ETFs such a big thing? Because they're cheaper. Straight up, right? Like, why are you going to pay a mutual fund manager some crazy fees when you could just invest in an ETF and save a ton of money? I believe that we can go much further than that. We can build ETFs, and we could build technology that is really cheap, but also has very strong investment returns. That's just smarter, faster, more intelligent in making decisions. So that's what we're all about in Lumi Wealth. Right now, we're making a lot of courses, right? I think that's a great way to get into this. We've met some amazing people. We have a really big and great community full of very smart people, and it's growing by the day. But we're also working on actual technology and websites where you'll be able to just use kind of our tech behind the scenes. This all starting with Lumibot, which we've been developing for some time. but we're developing out a couple other technologies as well that are going to be very cool down the line to make this even better for you. And I believe in a future where everyone makes great returns. The economy is much more efficient. It continues to be more efficient. And I think software has a very big role to play in that. So that's really what we're about in Lumiwealth.
Yeah, and I have to second that, Robert. I mean, the ability to use algorithms to trade can take its form in so many different ways. We have some people who are money managers who are using them to create covered calls on existing portfolios. We have other people who are using them to replicate sort of an ETF portfolio that rebalances automatically. So that's not even really aggressive. That's just sensible, you know. And we have other people who are doing more active day trading with different types of technical indicators and whatnot. So it's you know, what we're going to be teaching you here is the ability to use the Python coding languages coupled with Lumibot, coupled with our experience, so that you can take your ideas and what you want to accomplish and have it come out in the code itself, and you know, have it running for you during the day. All right, Rob, I'm going to let you talk to these guys.
I think you could try to go through it. You know.
You're going to make me do it, aren't you?
Okay,
well, Rob's more of an expert on these things, but basically what these slides are talking about are some companies that have focused on using systematic algorithmic trading at the highest level of production that's available. And they throw tons of money at it. They're worth massive amounts of money, and they've grown incredibly over the years, right? So if you look at this company here called Renaissance Technologies, they have $110 billion in assets. They've made 39% annual average return over 30 years, all through what's called quantitative or algorithmic trading. They don't trade based upon how somebody feels on some day. You know, everything's been tested, everything's been vetted, everything's correlated, everything's like running through the markets on a very systematic process. And it's at such a stage that, I mean, they have this down to a science, right? So that when they're investing with their algorithms, it will adjust to the markets and it'll minimize the risk on the downsides and continue to grow up. To give you an example, if you look at the returns you could have made in the stock market in the last 30 years, if you had $1,000 at the beginning of it, you would have only achieved a $17,500, $500 after 30 years. But at 39%, which incidentally is a ridiculous rate of return, you would have made $1,000 would have turned into $24 million. And it shows you, I'm not saying everyone's going to be able to do that. These guys are the best, right? Like, you know, they're the sort of the Michael Jordans of all of this stuff, but it shows you that by using systematic trading and quantitative trading, that you can do quite well. I'm going to show you this link right now of this book. And it's The Man Who Solved the Markets, How Jim Simmons Launched the Quant Revolution. This is an excellent book to read. I have to apologize, I haven't read this book myself, but I've had a lot of clients who have read this, and Robert has read this too. But they're basically outlining how they started originally with quant investing before it was really a thing, and how they were able to turn that into you know, a multi-billion-dollar business. So you always have to start somewhere, and success can be around the corner, but it does take hard work. But you can get there, and that's what these guys showed. So it's kind of proof in the pudding. Here's another few companies that have done very well over the years doing systematic trading as well. I'm sure you heard of Bridgewater, $138 billion company, Two Sigma's a $60 billion company, Citadel and D.E. Shaw. These are all quantitative trading firms that make their money based upon implementing algorithms that have been tested, that are systematic, that trade the same way all the time, every day, that can evolve over time, of course, but they take the emotion out of the trading and they make it automatic. This is what we're going to be teaching you how to do at a starter level. We're going to be teaching you how to do options trading, doing it on a systematic basis, how to come up with an idea. Like, you know, I have so many students and personal clients who like, I have this idea, or I might be trading this idea somewhere else, and I want to do it with options. How do we do that? Let's have a look at that. And we're able to show them how to put it into practice, how to test it, how to back test it, and then how to put it into paper trading, and then how to put it live and have it just run for you. You know, just have it run and have it go. So why do we want to trade options using algorithms? Well, options are complicated. I think of all the asset classes that we have, they're the most complicated. I think I can't sugarcoat it at all. You can trade stocks and Forex and even cryptos. They're a bit more simple because of the nature of options being contracts with finite dates and everything. They're a bit more complicated. So, trying to trade options by yourself without a system, you can get bogged down in that complexity. But what we'll teach you how to do is by using Python and by using our system, we'll take that complexity and put it into code. And then once you have it into the code, then the code just runs and you don't have to worry about the complexity anymore because it's all been worked out ahead of time. Right. So, whether you're looking at using the Greeks or whether you're looking at using some technical analysis, or maybe you have some other signal indicator you want to have come in, we're going to show you how to code that so that when you're running it, that complexity is now gone. I mean, it's not gone, but it's managed in the code. Another nice thing about using algorithms is that you can trade when you're away from your computer. So, sorry, just give me one sec. See if we're missing any chats. Yeah, you can trade while you're away from your computer, which is a huge advantage, right? I mean, who wants to sit in front of a computer in this day and age and just stare at the screen waiting for a signal to trade? And imagine you sat there all day and you didn't get a signal. And you're just like, you're like waiting to trade, or you're trying to react to a signal that maybe comes out on your phone or something like that, but you were busy at the time and you missed it, and then the trade's gone. And you could have made some money and you didn't make money. It's not a great way to trade. So what we do is our clients have a couple of different ways of doing it. Either they day trade so that when they get up in the morning, they'll just start the computer and it'll trade for them, and then it'll shut down by itself at the end of the day. And the other way that clients do it, the swing trade overnight, and they just leave it running all the time. So it's really up to what your strategy is, will dictate how you're going to trade. But either of those scenarios, you're able to develop some code that will just run. You can have confidence that it's going to do the trades the way they're supposed to happen. Here's another big advantage of using algorithms. If you have an idea for a trade, let's say you want to look at doing some sort of, I don't know, some technical indicator, let's say Bollinger Bands or something, it doesn't matter. And you have an idea about it, and then you think, okay, I'm looking at the charts and it looks like it'll work. And this can happen a lot when people are looking at TradingView. Sometimes they look at the charts and everything's, kind of looks like it makes sense. Oh, I make a lot of money. But when you back test the strategies, sometimes they don't, and that can be a great way to save some money, because you can either you can tweak the strategy to make it work better, or you can say, well, maybe this just wasn't a winning strategy. I'll try another one. And I'll flip and do something else. I have a client right now. Actually, I'll stop and tell a little bit of a story about him. He's a client I've had now for about four or 5 months. I helped him develop his algorithm. He's a great guy. I talk to him like not every day, but probably every other day, and he's a mathematician background. So he's very intense with numbers and analysis and calculations. And in his journey, he kind of started off with one way that he thought would work. And then he's kind of wasn't pleased with the results in his analysis with it. So he switched, with stochastics he started off with. Then he added in some RSI checks to see about getting in and out of the market. He did an overlay with that, but then he realized the stochastics were kind of getting in and out a little bit too soon. So he switched to a MACD instead. And now he's kind of fine tuning it, and it's making him money, and he's really happy about it. But he's a guy who likes to tinker with it, and he'll keep playing around, trying to make it better every day. He kind of commits his daytime to trading now. And so, he's a great example of someone who is able to backtest the strategies, and he's able to test things live as well. The other thing, and this is one of my favorite points, is taking the emotion out of trading. As a stockbroker and someone who worked in stocks a lot over the years with clients who traded, you would see clients who wanted to trade based on how they perceived things at any given point in time, or maybe some news came out of something important happening, like the Ukraine, for example, coming out, and they don't really have a strategy. They're just trying to react to things, and then their stocks go down and they're not really sure what to do, and all of a sudden they're losing money, and they get very emotional about what do they do. And when you're in that state of emotion, when you're trying to trade money, it's a terrible combination, really, unless you have a really strong strategy in place, or you're a highly experienced trader. It's much better to be in a position where you have an algorithm that's sort of thought out all of the different eventualities, and it just does it automatically. And you can just make sure the algorithm is working over time, or maybe a couple of them, or maybe 2 or 3 of them, you know, make sure that they're all kind of working in conjunction with each other. So that's one of my favorite ones, because I literally used to see this all the time and try to talk people out of doing things, and they would anyway. So it's like, okay, it's like, and the other thing that's really cool is you can trade several strategies at a time. If you were trying to sit down and you had, you know, 3 or 4, or maybe 5 or 6 strategies, and you're trying to trade live by yourself, it would be really difficult to trade all of those strategies without getting mixed up in them, without having to execute orders at the same time in multiple strategies, trying to know whether you have like sort of the same position, where you're buying the same stock and selling the same stock in another spot, because you know, you're having different strategies, maybe using some of the same instruments. And that's a real big factor that makes algorithmic trading appealing, because you can code, you know, a strategy. Here's the course of events I like to see. Someone comes in and they have an idea, they code a strategy, they back test it, paper trade it, and it works. Great. All right, let it go run. Get another idea. Spend another month, you know, kind of focusing on that idea, back testing it, resolving it. Okay, maybe that one didn't work. Okay, maybe find another idea. Oh, that one works. So now you have 2 ideas, check how they correlate against each other, and you run both of those at the same time. And you don't have to spend much time on them once they're running. You know, you can focus on another idea, right? That can make you money, which would be awesome. So that's one of the big advantages of trading several strategies at one time. Yeah, that's it. Let's check chats. Don't forget to write a note in the chat if you have any questions as we go along. Let everyone. Does anybody have any questions right now about sort of trading options using algorithms? I hit the wrong button, sorry. So Armando asked the question, do we get strategies, or do we need to create our own? So it's a bit of both. So we have strategies that we use for teaching. We have strategies that can be developed into making money. Some of them are fairly traditional strategies. Some of them would need to be fine-tuned for what you want to do with them, but they'd be a great foundation for you to start on. And I know that some of our clients students have taken some of those strategies and built them into stuff that they want to see when they're trading. So I think in particular, I'm thinking about the covered call strategy that we created, and is being used by a money manager with his clients now to help make money. But you can also create your own, and we'll build, you know, we'll give you the foundation to do that. During the course, you know, it's our intention to kind of build it up for you, so you're doing algorithms, at least doing some code and some algorithms at almost every class along the way, so that by the time you get to the end, you should be pretty comfortable with writing a basic algorithm, and we can help you to add in some of the special sauce that, you know, you might be thinking about to put into an algorithm as well, and show you how that would work. All right, so we're going to show you a couple of strategies. Now, these are strategies I wrote a little while ago. One of them is called a strangle. The other one's called a bear call spread. I've put in some charts here to show you what they are. I could explain them right now, but in fact, I explain them in the videos I'm going to show you. So I don't want to waste everybody's time by duplicating the explanation. But in the video that I'm going to show you for both of these, again, the only reason that we did it like this is because the options markets aren't open right now. And so we're not able to kind of, I wouldn't be able to run the bot, and it would just go to sleep, and it wouldn't be very exciting to watch. It would just kind of look like it says, hey, I'm going to go to sleep and wait till tomorrow. So, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with this, this first one. This is a long straddle. I'm going to make sure my volumes are up here. Give me a wave, Robert, if you can hear it, a thumbs up okay on your side. So now we're going to have a look at an option strategy being executed by Lumibot. This is the long strangle strategy. There's a link in the.
Hey, Neil, it's a little bit quiet. So what you can do, by the way, there's a thing inside of Zoom. I discovered this recently, by the way. If you stop sharing and you share again, there's a checkbox that says share my sound.
Okay.
That's kind of the easiest way to do it. So if you stop sharing your screen, share again, and there's that checkbox saying share my sound or something like that. All right.
Put is designed to take advantage of the big swing in price in the underlying. So we're going to go through reasonably quickly here.
It's still very, very quiet now.
This is the code that's going to run the strategy. It can be found on our GitHub site.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah.
Did you check that box, the share my sound?
I did, yeah.
It's still not.
I'm wondering if I have to share the actual.
One other thing that you could do, you have a microphone, you can put it close to the speaker.
Yeah, I have the Yeti here. So hold on, just give me 1 second, everybody. I have to kind of reach around behind my monitor. Just going to turn this off for a second because I want to be right leaning over the camera.
So I'm just going to answer a question here from Giovanni. So Giovanni asks, are the algorithms serve as a stock sweeper, meaning does it search multiple stocks or is it stock specific? So you can do both, right? If you want to do something that's like a stock screener, that's definitely something that's possible using Python. You could definitely design something like that. Most of the algorithms that are within the course that we just give to you, right? They're ones that work with either one stock or a basket of stocks. If you want to build a stock screener, that's definitely something that's possible. A lot of our students have built that, and we could definitely get you in touch with quite a few of them on how to do that and how to actually turn that even into an options trading strategy as well. So thank you for that question, Giovanni.
Okay, I'll give it a try again, see how we go. But we have a question. Still can't really hear, we're going to give it a shot again. Hold on. Have the team already, sorry, this is a question from Ron Rose. Have the team already programmed stocks that hit double tops and or double bottoms? I'm not really sure how to answer that.
Could you describe that a little bit more, Ron, as to what you mean by that? Candle patterns. I mean, there's lots of different algorithms they can make around candle patterns. I don't think we've specifically built something with double tops, double bottoms. That doesn't sound very difficult at all. I think that could be built in like 30 minutes, to be quite honest with you. That really doesn't sound like a very difficult strategy whatsoever to build. If you could describe it a little bit more, then we could speak more to the details. I've never built something like that using double tops, double bottoms, but then again, honestly, I've heard of literally thousands of different strategies that people have made. Things like this where you use technical analysis, double tops, double bottoms, candle patterns, those are usually very easy strategies to make. And we can definitely walk you through that, right? So one of the advantages of going through a course like this with Neil is he actually spends a lot of time with everyone in the course and is able to help you build out a lot of these types of things as well. Okay.
Yeah, the next question here is how accurate are the strategies, algorithms, results between backtesting and real trading? I think it depends on the algorithm, to be honest with you, because like most of the time when we get a strong signal going forward, we'll paper trade it for a while to make sure that it's giving us the same kind of results that we're expecting from the backtesting. But sometimes backtesting, you can get a little bit of overfitting, which might indicate it's better than it's going to be. So your results might not be as good. But the part of the backtesting process is to try to identify those opportunities that are going to be good in live trading and in paper trading. So I would say that the ones that backtest well, they tend to do well when you put them in. For the most part, they tend to do well. Let me try this guy. Let me give this a try again, and we'll see how we go. Examples. This is a Strangle strategy. Here's a description of the strategy. We initialize our variables. These are the stocks that we're going to use. All of these are going to be customized to the specific strategy. How's that? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, it's much better.
That sounds better. Cool. Set it up.
Full screen too.
I'm not going to lie, when you do option strategies, it's a little bit more work than when you're doing trading. So now we're going to have a look at a option strategy being executed. This is the long strangle strategy. There's a link in the presentation. You can look at it on Investopedia for a full description. This graph here shows the profile. Basically, we're going to be buying call on a put. It's designed to take advantage of a big swing in price in the underlying. So I'm going to go through reasonably quickly here and just have a quick look at some code. This is the code that's going to run the strategy. It can be found on our GitHub site, and it's under strategy examples. It's a Strangle strategy. Here's a description of the strategy. We initialize our variables. These are the stocks that we're going to use. All of these are going to be customized to the specific strategy. You can set it up any way you want. I'm not going to lie, when you do option strategies, it's a little bit more work than when you're doing trading just sort of stocks or doing an RSI or simple moving average or something like that, but it's worth it. Every option strategy is going to have a trading pairs dictionary. Trading pairs dictionary is going to be keeping track of all the detailed information that you need to keep track of for the strategy. If I scroll down real quick here, you can see there's a helper function to build it down here. Lumibot works in life cycles. There's this starts off with before trading. Before starting trading life cycle, this is where we're going to set up the initial dictionary. Not going to go through this here. You'll learn about this in the course. And then when you get into the iteration, this is where we start selling and buying. We always sell first, try to raise cash if we need to, when we're long anyway. And so here we're going to just point out something, sort of specific to this strategy. We look for the price move here. And then what we do is we compare it to the threshold that we've set that we're willing to take our profit on. For this particular example, the threshold is really low because I want to make some trades. And then we create orders and submit the orders by liquidating our positions. When we set up the initial positions, we do it here and create positions. Just going to point out a few key things here. We're going to buy all the prices. We'll get all the prices for the underlying and for the calls and puts, put them in our dictionary. And we use those for our analysis. We will be looking at the information from Yahoo Finance, getting the ticker information. It's very helpful for us. Try to get the days to earnings and try to find out if it's too close or far enough away that we can make the movement. Here, we're going to do some sizing. You can see here, we're going to create some sizing based upon the overall position in the portfolio. And you'll see that when we execute the strategy that all the different pairs are roughly equally sized. And finally, we create our options and our puts, and we're ready to start trading. So now we've hit go and we're ready to start trading. And Lumibot's going to go into motion. I'm doing a paper trading on an account with a $40,000 budget, even though it says $250,000 in the paper trading account there. We have a maximum number of trades of 4 trades, so we'll have 8 positions altogether because they're pairs. And you can see Lumibot's going through the process of doing the analysis, finding out which pairs are best to be purchased, and then it goes ahead and purchases them automatically all by themselves. I'm not doing anything at this point. On the right-hand side, this is Interactive Brokers trade workstation. If you're not familiar with it, it's a old tried and true trading station a lot of people use. And when we're using our program, we have to interact with Interactive Brokers directly to do the options trading. Now, there would have been a bit of a time lag in there. I've kind of edited out sort of the waiting time for the next iteration. But you can see here that it sold some positions and is buying some new positions and putting them on for the strategy. I'm going to wait one more time. I think I sell out a little bit more and reduce the number of positions here. Again, there was a bit of editing out of blank time waiting for the next iteration. But you can see it all runs smoothly and automatically. And this is what you're going to learn how to do when we get into the course together. We're going to teach you how to build these algorithms. If you have trading strategies for options, we'll teach you how to codify them and how to run them and how to do them in Lumibot and trade with Interactive Brokers. Cool. The one thing I'd like to emphasize on that, kind of as I was watching it from when I recorded before, is that what you're looking at there when it's trading with Interactive Brokers is what it would be doing when you're off at work, or what it would be doing when you're off doing something else. Like it would just be chugging away. And I pointed out, or I mentioned in there that I cut out some time in here Well, what's actually happening, which is really important, but we don't want to sit around and wait for the next cycle, is that algorithm was trading, I believe, on something like every 3-minute cycles. You could have 5-minute cycles, 10-minute cycles, half-hour cycles, and it will just sit quietly and just wait, right? And just wait, and then when it's ready to trade again, it'll pop up and it'll go again. And you can be off, walking the dog or doing whatever it is that you like to do. That doesn't mean you have to sit down and stare at the screen waiting for the next rollover or the next signal. And I think that's kind of one of the important parts about it. The other important part about watching that, which is really kind of neat, was being able to see that you can go through a universe of stocks and you can select, say you can choose how many to select. In that case, it was 4 stocks, or in the 4 pairs of options, if you will, in order to do the strategy. So that's a great concept. Strangle is a pretty common strategy. You can implement it using code like that, and away you go. So I've got one more here for you. Rob, again, let me know if you can't hear it. Okay. Play this. Big. We're going to go over a strategy called the bear call spread. The bear call spread is a long short strategy using calls. It's anticipating that the underlying is going to drop in price. And you can see here in this chart, you go short a call at 220, you get the premium for that. You're going to go long at 230, it's going to cost some money. The idea here is that the underlying will drop in price and you will get a profit of 235. And you'll also limit your losses should the underlying go up in price. Now I'm going to show you Lumibot. I've written up this in code, and Lumibot's going to trade a number of securities on the bear call spread. On the left side, you're going to see the logouts to screen of Lumibot trading. On the right-hand side, you have Trader Workstation. You can see the securities popping up as the orders are placed. When it settles down for a second, we're going to have a look at one of these. I guess we could look at Airbnb right now. You can see here, for example, the short call is at 150 and the long call is at 157.5 as per the bear call strategy. We have a number of criteria selecting which stocks are going to get selected. We'll teach those in the course and how to do that. You may have your own ideas and algorithms that you want to trade. They're all customizable using the Lumibot strategy in Python code. So here, what we're going to get is the initial stages of the strategy is just about finishing up. You can see the simulated trading notification on the bottom right is showing all the completed trades. For this particular execution, we were only using 10 units or 10 contracts per underlying, so short and long. And I did just right now, I just did a clip of some time waiting for the next iteration. And you're going to see Lumibot's going to be calculating which of the underlyings it wants to sell and get rid of and close out the trades on, and establishing new positions. When you do the course with us, you're going to have your own ideas that you want to trade. You're going to have, you're going to have inspirations that you're going to want to create algorithms for. Lumibot is built to handle options and a wide array of other securities, including futures contracts, Forex, and stocks. We can also do a number of back testing with Lumibot as well. This is an example of the bear call spread. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you'll be able to attend one of our courses one day, and we'll see you there. Thanks. So I'm just going to stop it here with I don't know who's on my screen there. I guess that's a YouTube video. I don't know what that is. With this on the screen, one of the things that comes to mind for me is that when you look at options, we're going to show you how to be able to pick expiries. We're going to show you how to pick your strikes. We're going to show you how to combine calls and puts together, or calls and calls together, or to go long and short. We have that all figured out for you. And we're going to show you how you're going to be able to accomplish all of that stuff inside of the course. I'll just close this out here, sorry. Okay. And, while there may appear that there's some complexity to it, we have all of the code figured out that will allow you to go in and exercise your strategy and to be able to select not only the stocks that you, or the options that you want, the durations that you want, to look at how far away it is from the current time, to see how far the strike price is away from the underlying price, and to be able to just roll that on an ongoing basis with multiple stocks as securities exercising on options. And the great part about that is, again, is that you're going to be able to implement option strategies that'll make you money. That'll be fun to use. You can watch them. You'll be able to get charts and progress on them as you go along. One of the things I'd mention is in our back test, we provide extensive back testing tear sheets. I'm going to show you an example of one. Now, this is going to be a cryptocurrency one, so I apologize. But I think it might be a good idea if I kind of showed you what one of these looks like. I apologize, I don't have it ready to go, so just bear with me for 1 second. And I'm going to find it here. Here. And let's do, I guess we could do this one. And so this is an example of some of the things that you'll get when you're doing your back testing. The two main ones that I want to show you, which are sort of the most informative, are looking at charts that tell you how well your back test is done against a benchmark. So let me just get rid of these first for a second. And you can just see here's sort of here's the algorithm running, this purple blue line here. You can see the value of it as you move your mouse over, the date of it here as well. Again, this was a mean reversion strategy in cryptos, but we use mean reversion strategies with options as well. And if you look here, you can see we're using Bitcoin as a benchmark, but perhaps you would have SPY or some other benchmark in here. So every time you run a back test, you're going to get this data available for you to analyze how well it's doing. And of course, if your strategy is way below the benchmark, then maybe it's something you might want to look at something else. But you're able to come in here as interactive. You can have a look at the trades that have happened, right? Just by coming in like this. And you'll get this at the end of every one of your tests. And this really helps you because maybe you're going to see trades happening in a spot that don't make sense to you. And you're like, well, why is my strategy trading here? And you can go have a look at it and have a see. But essentially, the biggest thing here is you can kind of see overall just how well the strategy has done. And the other one that I would like to share with you, if you don't mind, is this is an institutional quant sheet. It's called a tear sheet. And these, this kind of information is probably more than you'll ever need to do.
Sorry, I'm not seeing anything that you're sharing.
What's that?
Are you sharing the screen?
Are you not seeing this?
No.
1 sec.
There we go.
Can you see that now?
There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. I thought I had the screen up showing it to you guys. So did you see the last one? Hello?
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. No.
Can you see this now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I thought this was showing up on your screens. My apologies. So I'll take a quick step back. So this is an output that you get at the end of your back test, which is really cool because it has a lot of information in it. You can put any benchmark in here that you want. This is the benchmark. You can see in this case, because it's crypto, we're using Bitcoin, but you also get your algorithm and how it performed compared against it coming across here. And you can see the value of it going up, making a lot of money. And then here, if we put these back in, these arrows, these are the actual trades that are happening. Now, this is a very active algorithm. So it has a lot of trades going on, but you can see if you hold your mouse over, you'll be able to see the trades that are happening when you're selling and when you're buying. And sometimes when you're trading options, you can have quite a few on the same day or at the same time because you're doing them sort of at once, and they will be stacked and you'll have that information in the hover box there. And then the other one that I wanted to show you, you can see this okay, Rob? Okay, great. So this one that I wanted to show you here is you'll get this at the end of every back test that you do as well. And it's going to have just a massive amount of information that can help you to analyze, whether it's doing well or not. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. It's because it can get a bit technical, but basically you have your cumulative returns, you have your end of year returns, monthly distributions, This is a short one, so it doesn't have it, but you would have, longer tests. You'd have a rolling beta to benchmark, which tells you how much you're picking up over the market. These ones here I like a lot, and they're very important when you're trading, is to have a good understanding of what you would expect your algorithm to do for drawdowns, for like when it goes bad and when it's a bad period. You want to know what that looks like or what it should look like, so that if it gets way worse than that, you can say, hey, this is not what I expected. There must be something amiss, and you can kind of come in and look at it. Or you can say it was in the norms of what I was expecting my algorithm to do. On the right-hand side here, I won't spend any time in these at all, but I guess highlight a couple numbers. You get Sharpe ratios, you get cumulative returns, you get compound annual growth rates. How much time are you in the market? For a trend for this here strategy, it's always in the market for the nature of the strategy. And then you kind of just get like returns, your best days, worst days, your average drawdowns, average month up, average month down. Then you get your drawdowns here. 10 worst drawdown periods. So this is more than enough information for you to be able to compare different backtests together, to compare different strategies, to compare different parameters, different variables against each other, and to be able to say, okay, well, how am I going to select what I want to do? I think this is a fabulous tool that we have in Lumibot. It's all available for you automatically. It just comes out. All right. So I guess let's go have a look at the actual course. Let me just check my chats here. Oh, we've got a lot of chats. Hold on. Let me just scroll up here. You're referring to the trading double tops and double bottoms. Would love assistance with this, especially for SPY and QQQ. I think like Rob said, I haven't programmed double tops or double bottoms myself, but oftentimes when I deal with new clients, their ideas, I haven't programmed that either before. So, when you're dealing with Python, when you're dealing with the technical analysis libraries that we have at our fingertips to use, we can do just about anything that can be done. On top of it, we have the ability to be able to custom code your indicators, and we use a very strong Python library called Pandas to do that inside of Lumibot. Makes it really easy to be able to say, okay, well, I don't quite have the indicator I want. We'll just code it for you, or you can code it yourself, show you how it works, and then you have your own indicators. Does the team use tie to algorithms of Bloomberg terminals? I haven't. Rob, have you? Okay, cool. You have.
Yeah, I've worked with Bloomberg before. They have very good APIs. So if you want to link anything to a Bloomberg terminal, that's actually very easy to do. They have excellent support for all this. They can export everything as CSVs. They have very good REST APIs. You pay like 30 grand a month for them. You get a lot for that. I would hope they're good, right? So there's definitely a lot of stuff that you could do with them. So if you are a Bloomberg user and you want to integrate all that stuff into an algorithm, then absolutely we can build that, and they make it quite easy for us to do that.
All right, cool. So I guess that's the end of the question. So I'm going to jump over now. Oops, one new message. Hold on. That's good. So let's go have a look at the actual course and what you will be getting with us. So as we mentioned, this is an options trading course. We're going to teach you how to backtest your option strategies and make sure they're profitable, and to automatically trade those strategies, and also paper trade in between. It'd be nice to fit in there as well. What are the plans and how are they structured? We have 3 plans that are available. The first one is a self-directed plan. You have access to all of the videos that are online. You have access to the sample codes. You have access to the coursework that's been done. You can use the video libraries. All of our courses are recorded, and we put them up online. And in fact, we have the full recordings for multiple courses as well, which is nice. So because it changes a little bit over time, depending on what our students are wanting to have. But basically, you'll be able to go in and have access to all that material. and to have a look at it and to be able to learn from the material that's online. It is a self-directed plan, but I'm available on Discord to answer questions as we go along. I've helped quite a few people who are in the self-directed plan just get their bearings and some sort of technical questions that they might have had. So that's one option that you can use. The next option that we have are live classes plans. These are by far the most popular that we have. Having a live class plan, you get an experienced instructor, in this case me. I'll host a live class. We've been doing them on Sundays so far, but that could change. I walk my clients through the entire course from beginning to end. I make sure that they're set up. I meet with them offline. I'm free to answer their questions. I help them set up their own algorithms. I give them guidance on how to set up their platforms and to get going. And it's really great. I enjoy it a lot. I like the one-on-one interaction, and I love helping people out to get to be able to learn how to make money doing options. And I can bring a wealth of experience, and the interaction that we have in the class is great. We do everything online through Zoom, and each class is recorded. So if you were to miss a course, then you would be able to come back and look at it again, right after. We put it up almost same day, I think, or next morning at the latest. Also, too, I believe, Robert, if I'm not mistaken, that if you in the live classes and you have access to future live classes, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in a live class, and I think you might have had someone do this with you as well, is you can retake it as many times as you want, right? So, if there's something happening in your life, like, you're moving, you had a kid, hopefully you got a promotion, maybe like you went through our classes and you got promoted because you're taking on some new initiatives, then, you might not be able to finish the class, but you could take the next session, right? And we've had a lot of people do this sort of thing. You're more than welcome to do that with our live classes. You could retake them as many times as you want.
And it's funny you bring up about people maybe getting promotions. One of our clients has got his eye on doing this for a living, and we've been talking sort of offline about where he might fit into the market, and he's been sending me sort of flyers of people looking for work that he could probably already start right away. Because I said, listen, with the skills that you're getting out of this program, you could start doing some nice basic coding right away for people and just build up and go from there. I mean, that's how you do it. And so I'm working with them towards that goal as well. And yeah, it's really cool. That's from the last class. And then this is our more advanced white glove sort of Cadillac Mercedes version of the course. This is the project help and tutoring plan. And this is where we sit down with you and we help you, we guide you, we'll write code for you, we'll sit down and write your algorithms out for you, we'll test them with you, we'll change them, modify them, and work through the whole program with you. It's a real white glove treatment. It's where we sit as we're part of your team now doing this to the actual implementation and making sure that that the code is tested, is efficient, and it runs properly. And we're the people who build Lumibot. So for us to sit down with you, it's really helpful. We can get you through the complexity pretty quickly with this kind of treatment. So this is, we're available to. I don't know what else to say about that, Robert. If I'm missing a few key things on there.
I think that's great. I mean, basically the three plans. You have one where it's self-paced. You have the videos that you can watch, but you also get access to the code and all that sort of thing. You still get some support. You have the live classes where you get a lot of support. It's obviously live over Zoom, right? Kind of like this interaction, except they get to turn on their cameras and all that. And I know Neil for a fact that he spent a lot of time with them. And then there's also the project help and tutoring plan where we'll really spend a lot of time with you. You get everything. By the way, these all stack on top of each other, right? It's like the live trading gets everything from self-directed. Project help gets everything from live trading and self-directed. And then the project help, you really get a lot of help doing this. And I'll give an example of someone that just got the project help and tutoring for the crypto course that's coming up, which is also another very exciting one. And the crypto course, we set up a kickoff call. We're already helping them build out some algorithms. Neil's actually been sitting down writing code for them. I mean, like, if you really want to have a lot of help with this, then project help and tutoring is definitely the way to go.
Cool. Thanks, Robert. So the options trading course plans come in obviously have 3 different pricing models for the increased service that you get for each of them. So the options trading course, the self-directed, you get lifetime access to the video library, lifetime access to the library of the code, access to the Lumiwealth community. You get the instructor support through the Lumiwealth community, and access to weekly discussion hour through Lumiwealth community. And that's at $1,498. The options trading course, which is sort of the most popular one that people take, has everything in the self-directed plan, plus you get 8 weeks live. And it says 1.5 hours there, but really it's 2. I find that 1.5 hours is not enough. So I personally do the classes for 2 hours to make sure that we're getting everything in properly. I've never done one at 1.5. 6 hours of dedicated live Q&A. You have access to all future videos and codes. So even if we change things down the road and you want to go back and look at it, maybe a year later, you can go look at it. You have access to all that information. You can get help with 2 personal projects, which is what I do. And I can sit down with you and help you kind of work through getting them working and back testing and trading live, and kind of just steer you through some of the pitfalls that may be in there as well. And here's a big thing that I like is you get to know your classmates. I know in the courses that we've had, we've developed and had Discord channels where we kind of hang on and rap and talk and just kind of laugh and go through some of the trials and tribulations as well as the successes that everybody has, and are able to help each other out. It's kind of a lot of fun. So that's a good part for me that I really enjoy. Also, too, in between the classes, it gives everybody an opportunity to say, hey, I was working on this thing. Does anybody have an idea how I could do it better, right? We all pitch in and help each other out. We can help you with your resume and interview prep if you're planning on using this for a career, which is what I just talked about a minute ago with my one student who's got his eye on doing this for a living, and he's quite serious about it. So he spends a lot of time studying and practicing. And I think when the time comes for him to go forward, we'll be able to give him some strong support from Lumiwealth. Unlimited email and chat. I would just point out, so this is for $3,495. I'd also point out that all of these programs are available on a 3 to 5 month payment plans. You can spread the payment out kind of while you're in the course, I guess, in a way, doing the course. And the last one is the white glove treatment. It's the options trading course, project help and tutoring, everything from the self-directed and the live course plans. It includes upcoming options trading live classes. You can take advantage of them. The biggest part, of course, is you're going to get help building a custom project, including the software development if needed. We really throw ourselves into these projects with our clients. We help them build their code. We help them learn how to use the code, how to run the code, how to tweak the code, how to change the parameters, how to check their back testing, and on and on and on, right through to paper trading and live. And we'll continue to help them as they go forward after that. We have 12 hours available for one-on-one video and phone sessions where we'll sit down and help them write the code, or to write the code with them. It's kind of very fluid back and forth for this white glove service because it's meant to be a very high level service for someone who truly wants to get their codes in place. Very popular with people who kind of run professional trading programs at home, who say, hey, I want to implement the strategies I'm working right now. I want to get it right, and I'm willing to pay, and I want to use this. So willing to pay would be $5,283. Again, there's a payment plan available for that too. Okay. Yeah, so maybe Robert, you can talk a bit about the bundling and how it works.
Yeah, for sure. I also see that someone raised their hand here as well. So Giovanni, I don't know if you have a question or not, but feel free to type it out and we can answer whatever question you have. Yeah, so there are savings if you bundle things together, right? So if you buy, for example, the options trading course along with like the crypto course, you'll get a 10% savings automatically. We don't even have to give you anything. You just as soon as you add it to your cart, you'll automatically see savings. I think there's even more savings when you add in 3, and you'll see that automatically inside of your cart, right? All you gotta do is add them in, and you actually see all those savings stack up inside of your cart.
Should I walk through how to use the codes or anything like we did the other night? Or
yeah, we can do that. I guess we can go down to the actual dates, and then that's where all that is.
Cool. Well, there's just a quick question. So Ron's asking, which brokers do you use when for options and for cryptos, and what do you use to paper trade? So at the moment right now for options, we're using Interactive Brokers. We paper trade with Interactive Brokers, and we trade live with Interactive Brokers as well. We are bringing TradeStation on in the next month or so. They also have options of futures and Forex and whatnot. And so you'll have the ability then to work with 2 different brokers. For cryptocurrencies, we're using Coinbase at the moment, and we're bringing on now the initial launch of, just so you know, the cryptocurrencies took a while to get the initial one in, but all the subsequent brokers that we're going to add starting now are going to go very fast. So we're looking at KuCoin and Binance next, and they should go very quickly, and then we'll start adding on more brokers after that. The infrastructure that we've built allows for the easy addition of new brokers. So I guess I'll go down here to the course curriculum and just kind of go through it. So let's have a look here. Week 1, week 2, week 3. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this quickly. We have initially, we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page. So in the first week, we're going to have introductions. We're going to set up the course, what the layout is, and we're going to have start setting up systems for people to make sure that you're going to be able to do the course material on your own computer. So, a lot of people will already be set up, but some won't. So, we're going to help you get up in the appropriate IDE, like say VS Code, for example. So the first week is really sort of setting up the stage and laying out the course for everybody and making sure they're on getting ready to go. And we'll give them some work to do for the next class so we can get going. The next week, we're going to spend some time with options fundamentals. We spend quite a bit of time talking about how options work, how calls work, how puts work. We'll talk about how the profit payoffs work. We're going to have some custom charts that we can do, that we can code, and really get into making sure we have a clear understanding of how option contracts work, what the rights are, and what the strikes are, and how the strikes work, and how the expiries work, and how we choose them. The next week after that, we're going to look at a couple strategies. We're going to look at some of the typical strategies that get used in trading options. I've listed out a few here: collars, straddles, strangles, which we looked at, covered calls, which is really popular for a sort of conservative strategy if you have a stock portfolio. And it's going to be in this week that we're going to start introducing the Greeks. For those of you who don't know what the Greeks are a series of sort of measurement tools that help you have an understanding of what options are going to do and how they trade. So they can be, we're going to demystify them. We're going to make it easy for you to understand how Greeks work. When you're trading options, Greeks are, I would say, essential in order for you to be a successful trader in options. And they're going to be part of the curriculum throughout. So we'll have a deep understanding of Greeks when we're done there. Part 2, we're going to go into options live paper trading. So we'll start making sure that you have an account in place, that you can link your broker. We're going to start doing some paper trading in your brokerage account with some simple strategies, and you'll be doing these on your own computer as well. We'll have some simple example strategies that you can run at the same time as I'm doing it on the screen up here. After we have that, in the next week, we're going to go to a little bit more advanced, which is the back testing. It's only more advanced because we have to load the data because we're not using the broker. But the one thing that I want to emphasize at this point, and just make sure you have a really clear understanding, is that when we make a strategy in Lumibot and you back test that strategy and you're happy with the results, with a very minor few changes in the code on how we load it, it's the same code that's going to go into live trading. It's exactly the same. So we have the exact same code in back testing, go live trading into Lumibot, into paper trading is the exact same code. When you're happy with that, you just flip a switch and you go into live trading at that point. So really the code stays all the same. It just needs to be launched a little bit differently. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do in week 5. Then we're going to get into, now the next 3 here, I guess I'll kind of just talk to them all at once. We have example strategies that we'll use and have workshops and work through them together with you. We'll have you guys work through the code with us as well. But at this point, we're also kind of flexible as to maybe what kind of codes you might want to have a look at. Maybe you have some ideas. Maybe we can use that for the class instead of sort of the one that I've kind of got ready to go. And I could sit down and write up your code before the next week and present it in the class if you're open to that. So these next 3 classes are really about getting your workshop going, sitting down and going through code with you, helping you debug your code, helping you know how to use the platform, helping you, making sure that your code is going to make money and that it's going to be profitable for you. This is what we do, and we do 3 whole classes devoted to this, and it's kind of the more interactive part and less teaching and more sort of direct involvement with you in building algorithms. And we're going to make sure that by the time you're done week 8, that you're going to be comfortable and say, okay, well, I know how to build a Lumibot algorithm right now. And now it's just a question of what I want to do with this algorithm. You'll be in a place to do that. So that's our course. That's what we do. It's a lot of fun and I like it.
I just wanted to answer a question here from Ron that asks, is the team going to be using Bybit with 50x leverage? We will eventually be adding in a lot of different crypto brokers. I believe Bybit is part of CCXT, so we will be adding that in as well. And if it's something that you're interested in, we could actually make that even a priority if you take our courses. So it becomes quite easy for us to add brokers over time for cryptocurrencies. So if that's what you're interested in, then for sure we could definitely do that.
Yeah, we've actually prioritized the current implementations that are coming based upon customer feedback, client feedback, in particular KuCoin. So. All right, the class is in April 2022. Registration closed April 10th. Course starts April 24th. It's going to be 8 weeks long, with the exception of holiday breaks, if there's any in there. I haven't looked at the schedule yet. It's going to take about 8 to 12 hours per week of self-paced learning in between, of trying new things out, of setting up your system, trying to get your algorithms going. I'm usually online and available to talk to you in Discord to help you along during that period of self-study. And then when you come back to the next week, then we move on from there. The class schedule is every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And the lecture duration is 1.5 hours per week. That's actually going to be 2 hours per week for you guys. I'm giving you a free half hour just because I like you. So there's a coupon code if you want to use it. It's available until March the 10th. This is the code right here, so you can see it if you were, so I'm going to copy it and put this into the chat so everybody has it. So just make sure you kind of grab it out of there. And the way that you use a coupon code, I'm just going to kind of walk through it. So you apply your coupon code over here, right? And you hit apply code. And you can see that here you have the normal cost is $34.95, but just by using the coupon code in the next week or so, you'll be able to knock $700 off of that. That's a lot, right? And so knock it all the way down to just under $2,800, which is pretty good. 10% off, once discount. If you proceed to checkout, one of the things I wanted to show you here, so you put your name and your card and all that information here. But on the right-hand side, you can pay with a payment plan, right? If you choose to. Now you'll save money if you pay for it all at once. I mean, obviously, right? But if you pay with a payment plan, you can pay it over a course of 3 months or 5 months. So here with the discount here, over 3 months, then it would cost you $978 a month over 3 months. That's right. Okay. And then if you do it over 5 months, then you're looking at $612 a month over 5 months, right? You still get the discount here, right? It still goes down to a lower price, but because it's a payment plan and extending our payment cash flow for us, and we have a fee that we have under that. Cool. I think that's all we need to look at there, right, Rob?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that's the early bird special, and that's available until March 10th only. So if you guys want to save that money, you have to use the coupon code. by March 10th.
Yeah, so I guess we've talked about this a lot, so I don't need to spend too much time on this, but the options, we're going to have a project of back testing an options strategy and building a live options trading bot. And I think I've mentioned enough about them by now. This is me. I don't know who this handsome fellow is, but he looks younger than I do, that's for sure. And yeah, so I guess, you know, all my background working in investments over the years, plus technology over the years, we tried to launch, I was part of a company trying to launch a online global commodity exchange in England with the London Commodities Exchange. I was involved in companies in Europe, America with technology and investments in finance over the years. So if you want to see more information about me, you can go to runbacktest.com, which I can just show right now. Runbacktest.com. Pretty self-explanatory. These are some of the things I've done over time. Get the Lumiwealth here. Okay. And I jumped off that screen. All right, I guess we'll finish off there. Was there anything else at the bottom of that screen, Rob?
The only thing down there at the bottom was the reviews, right? So we have a bunch of like video reviews from different people that have taken the course over time. We have even more than this on our testimonials page, but you might be interested, you know, in seeing what other people thought, right? Like, I mean, don't just take it from us, right? You see what other people thought about the courses and what they've been able to build. I could tell you Cention's built some really, really cool stuff. Last time I heard he was making like 500% a year off his algorithms. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, so lots of really great people that have taken our course before and have done some very cool stuff. And if you want to learn, see from them directly, you can learn from them here, or you could go to our Discord channel, which I don't know if we shared that link or not, but our Discord channel is absolutely fantastic for learning about that kind of thing, you know, for getting to know other people that have taken the course and kind of asking them about it, or just getting to know our community and getting to know other people that have been around. Yeah.
Where would I find the Discord link, Rob?
It's in the presentation in the introduction slide. Yeah, there you go. There's a Discord channel link, right?
So I'll put this in the, yeah, I'll put this in the,
okay. Thanks, Neil.
Put this up in the chat. Oh, we have a couple more questions. Okay, cool. Yes, it is. Thank you. So those aren't really questions. So I guess we're course start date. So I guess we're at the end. If anybody has any more questions, I guess we're going to be wrapping up soon. Please, you know, just jump into the chat right now. I'm going to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes. I know from, I'll just kind of chat for a second while you're doing that. But I know from my perspective, like I really like teaching. I really enjoy working with my, you know, with my students in the options course. We get a wide range of skills coming into the course, but everybody leaves a lot better off than when they came in, and they're all able to code, and a lot of them are able to code profitably, and they take it, and some are even going to get jobs out of it, I'm sure, as they go through, because they're just so passionate about it. And you know, it's really fun to work through the course with everybody. I hope that some of you here today might be inclined to come join us. We have a pretty chill atmosphere in the course, and it's but productive at the same time, so it's a lot of fun. And I guess the chat looks pretty quiet. Oh, here's one here. So the question here is from Ron. What's the average loss rate with the bots the team creates, and how does the team go about improving the bots? I think I would just say I'd answer that by saying that we're not a quantitative firm per se, right? So we're not trading algorithms and trying to improve them over time. We're an educational firm. So the question that you asked is a little bit difficult for us to answer because we're not working in a systematic way like that with Lumiwealth. What we do is we help individuals implement their own trading plans. We help individuals implement their own trading strategies. We help them improve their trading strategies. And it would be difficult for me to sort of comment on what each of those individuals is doing on at any given point in time in the plus or loss. I don't know, Rob, if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Another thing that I'd say is implied in saying average loss rate is that you're doing very specific kind of trading, right? This sounds like you're doing day trading very frequently, where you're taking, you're doing like these bracket orders and whatnot, and you're calculating loss rates. There's a lot of other ways to make money than that. I think it's much smarter to calculate your returns, not in loss rates. Who cares? Really, who cares, honestly? Like, it's so what, you have a win rate that's great. I really don't care. Because if you have a great win rate, but you don't know how to actually trade it properly, you could still be losing money. I don't care about win rates. I don't pay attention to that at all. I care a lot more about how do I do versus benchmark. How are my returns versus benchmark? And I could tell you that the strategies I run have been beating the S&P by at least double so far, right, over the past year, right? I could tell you a lot of the back tests that we do on many other strategies that we're planning going forward can double, triple the S&P or double, triple the benchmark. That is much more important. Win rates, loss rates, these are things that I think traders that really don't know that much about what they're doing pay attention to. I think it's much more important to pay attention to how much money are you making and how much risk are you taking. Those are two things that are the most important.
The other thing I tack on to the end, and Robert, you're actually better to talk about this than I am, but the new platform that you're making is going to be something that kind of addresses this area a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, we're also making a platform where we're going to have all of our students' algorithms up on our algorithms that we've made, but also all of our student algorithms that they've made. We're going to put them up on a website where people can actually invest in them directly. And again, we're not focused on win rates. We're not focused on loss rates. This is not what we pay attention to. We pay attention to how well do you do versus a benchmark? Do you double it? Do you triple it? And how much risk are you taking? It's about risk and return. This is very basic finance, right? This like win rate, loss rate is in my opinion, gambling. There are people that make money doing that sort of thing, and that's fine. That's good for them. I've also met a lot of people that lose money doing that sort of thing. In fact, I've actually met more people losing doing that sort of philosophy than I have seen them win. Pay attention to your average return. Paying attention to your average risk is incredibly important. And we're building a platform actually that is going to showcase a lot of our students' work and our work. And again, like showing is better than talking about, right? And I think we have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things that we have to do still forward before we can launch this thing fully, but maybe in about 2 or 3 months, you'll be actually sit down and just like literally watch our algorithms trade. You'll see benchmarks start off with this, S&P was like this, and this is what we made, right? You'll see benchmark BTC start off like this, and this is how we did against them. And I think that's the most important. You look at any kind of ETF, any kind of mutual fund, any kind of hedge fund, that's how they all get rated. They all get rated based off of Sharpe ratios. They all get rated based off of absolute returns. They all get rated based off of the risks that they took on, right? And that's exactly the way that we're going to be showing this on our platform as well.
The last question that he has is for day trading versus swing trading. Yes.
I'm not a big fan of day trading either, right? I know some of our students have built algorithms that day trade, and some of them have actually done fairly well, right? I could tell you that the algorithms that have made the most money that I've seen myself personally and with our students do not trade that often, right? They're not ones that trade like 50 times a day, right? Except if you're like, maybe if you're in machine learning or if you're in crypto, I've seen some that actually make a lot of money doing that. There's some, like if you're trading off of the news or if you're trading off of certain machine learning indicators that trading pretty frequently can make you money. But most of the really profitable trading strategies are like an influencer tweeted something or some sort of news event happened and you're looking at the technicals at that point in time and you're basically putting an order to see how well that does, right? Like those are some very good strategies. Or like an options, like just generally looking at what is the pricing right now and looking at, what is your risk return profile if you're to take on this options trade. that makes a lot more money, you know? Yeah, like exactly, Ron. Like I'm not a huge fan of day trading. I don't know a lot of day traders that make a ton of money. I know a lot of day traders that lose money. If you want examples of that, I can give you lots of examples of day traders that lose money. But you know, I think there's much smarter ways of trading. And again, you know, just back test it, man. Like, I mean, like we could literally show you the code. I could show you this, like actually running some of these different strategies, how people would have fared. And the problem with day trading is that you actually pay a lot in fees going up and down, right? So you're paying not only commissions, but you're paying slippage, you're paying a bunch of that kind of stuff. So I think there's much smarter ways for you to trade, right? You don't need to be trading very frequently to make a lot of money. And in fact, the people that trade less tend to make more money, right? So things like trading on news events, things like trading off of like influencers, writing about things, things like taking advantage of like big deviations to the mean. Like for example, what Neil showed you, like when Bitcoin drops a huge amount, I mean, just buy it when it's down, right? There's a bunch of like, there's a lot of these like really good strategies that you can get into that again, they're not these day trading strategies. They don't trade 1,000 times a day. They trade maybe 5 times a day, something like that, but make a ton of money. And that's what I think it's all about. It's at the end of the day, we want to make good returns without taking crazy risks. That's what we're all about. Yeah. Cool. What do you think about that, Neil?
I couldn't say it better myself. It's like I've never, to me, it's always seemed a couple problems with day trading. Although you know people can do it, but the slippage and the commission and the cost is just a lot. And the other thing I always felt a little bit about day trading is I always felt like you're just trying to get signals out of chaotic data, you know. Whereas you know when you're doing a sort of intraday trading over time, you're able to get signals that are a little bit more consistent and flow better. So, I don't know. It always seems like you're chasing random stuff a bit in the day, a little bit too much.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some things that you trade throughout the day that make quite a bit of money. You know, crypto I've seen day trading potentially work, right? That's also because it's a newer market, right? There are some things that do work there and I've seen work well. But again, I mean, I think there's smarter strategies that you could take on. And that's what we're all about. We're about teaching you the stuff that actually works, right? Like it's, you know, let's give you the tools. Let's give you the way to back test this stuff so you can write your own code and figure out how to do this. We'll give you the strategies that we have that have been working for us, right? But then also we'll give you the tools to be able to build out your own and test your own strategies. I'm always shocked with the stuff that our students come up with. Some people come up with like some pretty freaking amazing stuff, not gonna lie, and really have made quite a bit of money, some of our students. So this is just me talking from what I've seen and what we've gone through, right? Cool. All right, any other questions? This is fun. It's a great presentation, Neil.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rob. I always get excited about the options course. You know, one thing, I don't know if I mentioned it very much, but I pretty much built out the options capability in Lumibot. So even if it doesn't work for you now, maybe we can change it and make it work. It's like I you know, you're talking to the source, and I'm going to be the guy who's coaching you and teaching you how to work with it. So it's not like it's something I learned. I wrote most of that code myself, I think it's fair to say, Rob. And so when you have me in front of you in the class, you're going to have the guy who can show you how to work it the best. And I really like doing it, and I'm really looking forward. And thank you, Ron. Appreciate your questions, and for everybody else too. We had a great time. If you have any other questions later on, feel free to reach out to us. You can get us through the website, on Discord. You can contact me through my website if you want. My email is at the bottom on there, and we're always happy to talk to you and answer any further questions you might have.
Awesome. Fantastic.
I think that's all we have.
Yeah, fantastic. It's great. Thank you very much, Neil. It was a great presentation.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming out. Really appreciate it. It's going to be a great time.
Definitely. All right. Hope to see you guys in class. Have a good night.